we doing? How we doing? Chat. What's up? What's up? Happy Monday to everybody. Um, how we do? How we do this week in the NFL? I know a lot of us had a good week. Some of us maybe didn't. Let me know what you won on. Let me know what you're losing on. Let me know what the play is tonight. I want to hear it all. I want to see it all. Um, pretty solid. Pretty solid for me. I'll start having like official stuff out through the next week. I like to give it a week, see how everything pans out, regardless of the sport. So we'll be out with that stuff this week. Marshall Moneyline, absolutely. We will start talking about that a little more when Krabs joins us here. +9U on the weekend. Good shit, Evan. Good shit. Auto Gelato, same to you, my man. Excited. Good stuff. The over in Denver, Seattle. Yeah, I've been hearing that some. Yeah, Eric, my man. Marshall, you're there. I'm sure that was awesome. I would have loved to be there. Would have loved to be there and see the boys pick up a huge win. I love that. It's huge for the win total. Let me know in the chat if you hit on that or riding the win total with me. It's going to be a good ride. Did I have any other side bets in the NFL besides the Falcons? Yeah. I mean, I wrote a lot of stuff. It was on the Bucks, but that wasn't like a play. I was just biased. On the Bears, on that Lions over, which is solid. On the Browns, I was really just on a lot of the stuff that Krabs and a lot of other people we've been talking about. So yeah, it was a pretty solid week over in Kansas City too. That was nice. We'll talk about the Chiefs a little bit coming up soon, but talked about earlier how I'm just super high on them still without Tyreek. I think that offense is going to be just fine. WC Sweat was yeah, that was one of my big misses of the weekend, absolutely. And I guess that's another one that we'll talk about in a little bit. That Wisconsin game. Up 30 units on the weekend. Love to see that. App State money line. Also love to see that. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for a way to support the Marshall boys for sure. I'll be making it out somewhere sometime soon this year. Check Twitter DMs. Got you. The money line was free. Anytime touchdowns tonight. Got a lot of plays. Love to see it. Colts almost came back. Yeah, that was a really weird game. Really sad. Said your boy Marshall going to lose. Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't take the money line or anything. I wasn't that confident. Took the boys on the spread, but tell you what, I love that. Love that season win total over. I've talked about it 5,000 times, but I can damn sure tell you a win at Notre Dame was not a part of that. I'm not even gonna lie and say like I expect that to happen because I don't think anybody did. Giants money line. Shout out Haglin, bro. Shout out. Broncos moved to -6. Interesting. I did not see that. That's definitely an interesting move. That's a respectful move. We'll talk about that. Krabs.
Jovan, what's up, brother? What's up, chat? How about a fucking weekend for the boy? How about it?
Yeah.
Winners, left and right.
Spewing.
Left and right. Didn't mean to cut you off. What are we talking about here?
No, we're just going through the chat. They're saying they got a little move towards the Seahawks. Somebody's seeing a +6 now.
Dude, I know. Is my mic fucked? Is that what people are saying right now?
Maybe. I hear you fine.
Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Vegas Tom, how am I not in a Wentz jersey right now? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking happy. I'm pretty happy from what I saw. God, it's a little better now. How do I turn this puppy up? I have no idea how this thing works.
I think so. Yeah, they're saying it's fine. It's fine.
Maybe that's a little bit better. Let me know.
Yeah.
This is not a Patrick Corbin jersey, guys. This is actually a better jersey. Check it out.
Just equally as sick.
We had a fucking I had a great weekend. I hope you did.
Yeah.
The bets were absolutely flowing in and they were hitting. Yesterday, obviously, of course, as soon as I toot my own horn, I love to toot my own horn. As soon as I did, lost last night on the Cowgirls. What a joke of a franchise. That's okay, though. That was like a win-win for me, dude. That was a win-win.
It's a win-win anytime the Cowboys lose.
I hit my bets, or the Cowboys look like a clown show again, which, surprise, they were. Awesome. Not even mad I lost that bet. We went 6-1 yesterday in NFL. Great fucking start. Dogs were barking. Absolutely barking. You did okay?
Yeah.
You made some money?
Did great. The only NFL bet I missed in total was that Falcons money line.
Do you remember what you went?
Let's see.
Falcons ML, you sick pup.
Yeah, I mean I took the spread too, but I had to douse on the money line.
Let's fucking go.
We were talking about it. I don't count the Bucks because that was not an actual bet. This is a bias bet, but shout out the Bears. Shout out that Lions over. Talking about that. Shout out the Chiefs over. They rolled.
Sure.
So give me a crisp 4-1.
Attaboy.
Minus the Bucks.
That'll play. Did you bet on your Bucks or no?
I did, but I don't count that.
Because you're gonna bet it anyways.
I mean, if it was any other team, I probably would have bet the Cowboys with you.
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't hate the angle on that. It was just like a
shout out Tom. He proved me wrong again.
Shout out the defense.
Shout out Leonard Fournette.
Him too, yeah. Shout out the offensive line. It was good. It was
shout out Julio Jones. We're having it. Let's have a shout out off. Shout out Julio Jones.
Yeah, Julio's still him.
Yeah, he looked like he got hit by a car when he got up after that crazy diving catch. But he's old, man. He's old. Guys, we had a great fucking weekend. I mean, just talking with you and other smart people, it's benefited me a ton. NFL, we're sitting at, I think we're 6-2 on straight bets in NFL so far this season. College football, another great weekend. We're 19-10 through these 2 weeks. So no complaints from me. Shout out BYU. Shout out the Mormons. I hope they soaked the night away. That game was never in doubt.
Never.
You know who should be on the hot seat is these damn kickers. Did we forget how to kick in the offseason? What's going on?
Yeah. They've been bad. both college and NFL. They were terrible.
Both. We're used to college. I get it. But even both, man. Missed field goals left and right. What's going on? Give our guy, a friend of the program, Brian Johnson. If the team needs a kicker, hit him up.
The GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute GOAT.
Hit him up. I actually didn't make it to the Skins game yesterday. I was so hungover. I couldn't stop throwing up. So I did not make it. I'm pretty upset about it. But I think it actually had an effect on us winning the game because there's no fucking way my hungover ass, there's no way I would have gotten to witness a live win. So me staying home got us a dub. It is what it is. Yeah. Shout out the Manders. Have you seen the updated odds for this shit, for this conference? Have you seen it?
For the division? No, I've not.
Have you seen it? Let's see. I can pull it up. It's something, man. And we could talk about the Cowgirls. You want to talk about how they literally looked like dog shit even before their quarterback got hurt, and how I mean, Dak, we're going to make that as an excuse, and it's no excuse at all.
No, I mean, Dak was atrocious. And, I mean, shout out to the Bucs defense. Their secondary played fantastic. They looked locked down, but the Dak couldn't make a throw to save his life. And they had plenty of chances to get a big splash play to kind of open that offense up and get something going in that game, and they didn't because he couldn't make the throws. He couldn't make the plays.
Yeah. If I was Trent, I would not be very happy right now with the standing of the goat whale. But as you see here, you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Eagles minus 140, the Manders at 450. People forget the Manders closed at plus 800 before week 1, which is just disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful. Giants actually have shorter odds than the Cowboys, which is insane. That's ridiculous. I think a little bit of an overreaction here for the Giants, but hey, we've talked about how the Titans are overrated for weeks now. They couldn't even beat the Giants at home. That's something.
Yeah. I mean, for the Giants, too, it's like it's if Saquon can stay healthy and they're playing such a soft schedule because of obviously like where they finished last year, I get it. I get it. I think it may be a little bit of an overreaction, but at the same time, who are they really playing?
DeGen, bro. DeGen, if you're going to the Eagles game, I will be there. So please come and tailgate with us. My buddy's literally talking about tickets right now. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, hit me up. And you should 100% come and tailgate with us. Now, if you're asking how FedEx Field is, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to tell you that it's a shithole. It's disgusting, but absolutely electric when
He goes
we win.
to the Trop, so I'm sure he can handle it.
I'm sure he can handle it. DeGen, you got to come, bro. It does suck. The toilets were leaking everywhere, apparently. There's always something going on with the plumbing there. Ridiculous. DeGen, you can come and party. You can bring the wife. It'll be okay. That place gets litty, though. It gets litty and it gets weird in the parking lots. You'll see some freaks. You'll see some FedEx Field creatures come out of the woods, dressed in who knows what. Shout out Curtis Samuel. I never thought I'd say that ever again.
Dude, give him his gold jacket. He's the greatest
I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say those words, Jovan. I gave up on this guy. First touchdown of the season for us. He looked great. We were using him interchangeably with McKissick and Gibson. This is what I was talking about with our backfield being an absolute issue. Just wait till Brian Robinson bullet hole in his leg heals because we're going to be an issue. This team is going to be able to run the shit out of the ball, and they're going to be an issue. Shout out Jahan Dotson, who was talking with you about it. I mean, his receiving props being in the 20s was absolutely disrespectful. 2 touchdowns. The guy has fucking Elmer's glue on his hands. He cannot drop a pass to save his life. He couldn't drop a pass if he tried. And that's the kind of guy we need on our team.
Yeah.
Him and Terry McLaurin were an issue and damn near uncoverable. I'm so impressed from what I saw. Carson Wentz with the most Carson Wentz game of all time. We'll take it. If that's what he's bringing to the table, we'll take it. Yeah. 2 picks. 1 was kind of fluky, whatever. We know what we're getting out of him. Ron, I'm with you, bro. I cannot believe I bet on a Washington team and they came through as well. Sure they can. Don't doubt us. The Commanders have never lost a football game. Always remember that. Okay? Always remember that. You want to do our little college football, NFL, like most impressive, most disappointing segment here? I want to talk about some stuff with this. Let's start with college football because that came first. What a wild, absolutely wild weekend of college football. But I'll let you dive into it. What were you most impressed with on Saturday?
Yeah. Let me update my name right here because this is what I am right now. Number 1 Marshall stand. I'd say most impressive, not just them, but Sun Belt Conference as a whole. I mean, we talk about all the upsets that happened. They were one of the conferences that took a brunt of it. I mean, we talk about they went 10-4 this weekend. They played 4 ranked teams and they played 6 power conference opponents, if you include Notre Dame. I mean, they had crazy wins. Obviously, they had Marshall over Notre Dame, App State beating Texas A&M, Georgia Southern beating Nebraska. Georgia State went shot for shot with UNC. Fantastic offense, and they took that to the end. And even Troy, shockingly. I mean, they played well this week. They didn't play anybody this week, but last week they looked really good against Ole Miss. And that's, I guess, a big reason why College Game Day is going to be at App State Troy this week. So, I mean, this conference looks really good, and I really didn't expect. Like, I was big on Marshall, like we've talked about it, but one thing I did get wrong, I thought this conference as a whole was going to be pretty just average. And they look pretty good across the board. There's a lot of talent in that conference. So shockingly, I will be excited to see how the Sun Belt pans out. Can't believe I'm saying that like in week 2 of the college football season, but here we are. That's going to be a great conference race, and they like anybody can beat anybody right now in that conference, and I love it.
Yeah. What were you most disappointed with on Saturday?
I was definitely most disappointed with Wisconsin. And that's another one. It's kind of Big Ten as a whole, too. They didn't look too great. But Wisconsin, I was on them. We talked about it. It's not just that they didn't play well. It's that they got absolutely bullied on the line, which is why they couldn't play well. And Graham Mertz actually looked decent for a majority of that game, which I was shocked to see. And this whole story was just Washington State's D-line bullying Wisconsin. They couldn't run the ball at all. And Wisconsin's calling card is obviously their line on both sides, and they were just out physical from kickoff to the end of that game. And the fact they got beat at home by a Washington State team that was tested by Idaho with Graham Mertz looking like a much like we're saying in chat, yeah, he looks like a much improved quarterback. The rushing attack couldn't get there. We're not expecting the most dynamic offense from Wisconsin, but they didn't have a slice of anything. So that definitely disappointed me, and I don't think they're going to be able to do much come, contending in the Big Ten for anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, disappointed from them, disappointed from Nebraska, who, correct me if I'm wrong, but they fired their coach. They fired Frost, which should have been done in the offseason. I mean, they lost outright again. What a joke.
Yeah.
What a joke. Absolutely insane. Yeah, who would have thought we'd be talking about the Sun Belt here and how impressed we are, but the Fun Belt is what we really should be calling them. Respect. Hey, some serious college basketball vibes, I will say. Seeing a cool, non-Power 5 conference show some life here. Awesome. How can you not love college football? Come on. I will talk about my most impressive here for college football. It was any teams playing against a fucking top 10 team in college football, plain and simple. We saw 3 top 10 teams. I'm fucking ESPN is playing a bunch of music there. We saw 3 top 10 teams lose outright. Absolutely insane. Shout out Marshall. Shout out Baylor, who we knew that was coming, with their win total being at 7.5, and with them not even being a favorite against BYU with 2 of their receivers out, like you said, very sharp comment. BYU being a favorite there told us everything we needed to know. And they almost found a way to fuck it up, but they did not. So Notre Dame lost, Baylor lost, and who's slipping my mind? There's one more. Texas A&M lost outright to App State, which is insane. Wild weekend of college football. So any team playing a top 10 team, and I was trying to find the tweet, but almost every team covered, and some won outright, which was absolutely absurd. So not a shocker to you and I hearing that the teams playing the best teams in college football all covered. But shout out to all these smaller schools like Marshall and like App State. These teams are absolutely insane, and the top 10 did not have a good week. A lot of pressure on these guys, and it showed. It showed this weekend. The books are taking money faster than I expected. I think Square's got absolutely crushed this weekend betting football. I thought they maybe would let the public grub for a second. They're cutting the shit. They're getting right to business, and they're taking money.
Yeah.
And most disappointing, I will say, is Notre Dame losing at home. I don't know if you heard, but Marcus Freeman literally said before the game, like, what better way to get your first win than at home against this crowd? He literally said that before the game even started. And that was a bad quote. That should be on Freezing Cold Takes. Couldn't even beat Marshall at home there. I mean,
not getting any better either with I don't know if you saw this because this was very recent. Tyler Buchner's out for the year.
Really?
Yeah.
So now they only got one quarterback.
Yeah, they're rocking with Drew Pine.
Okay. Well, good fucking luck. Notre Dame has not been a good team ATS against good teams for years now. And people who aren't fans of the program have roasted them, saying, they have more hype than they probably should or than other teams that deserve it. When you lose games at home to Marshall, comments like that, they start to echo and they start to become a reality, to be honest with you. So very disappointing here from Notre Dame. Definitely a step back for that program that we've seen have some success, in the college football playoff era. I think this team's got some serious work to do. Not really a hot take. Your, squad Marshall, who you've been very high on, they're no slouch. They're no joke. They're not a bad team. Like, I think them upsetting them is crazy, but that's a good football team, and Notre Dame is just not. Plain and simple. They need to figure their shit out.
Year in, year out, Notre Dame comes in, they play the teams at home that give them trouble continuously. Like, Ball State, I think, gave them trouble a year or two ago. Literally everybody comes in and plays them well at Notre Dame, and eventually is going to catch up to them. And against a Marshall team who has a lot of Power 5 talent and their defense looked like the steel curtain. And I know it's against a bad Notre Dame offense, but Notre Dame didn't just lose that game. Marshall won that game too.
I would say.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked.
Our guy Eric in chat said they didn't just lose. Marshall beat them in all phases of the game. Yeah, they dominated.
Absolutely. And did
dominated.
I don't forget who tagged us in it. It might have been him, but they had some Notre Dame beat reporter that wrote an article about the game. He was like, yeah, this Marshall team, they got all the scrubs from the Power 5 that really can't pose any problems for the Irish, and that their scout team would be much better competition than playing a scrimmage against Marshall. It's like, yeah, that worked out.
Holy shit, he dropped that article before the game?
Yeah, it was like their little preview of the game.
I mean, dude, there was so much bulletin board material for Marshall from this game. I mean, the fucking Notre Dame coach literally said, what a better way to get my first career win here as a coach in Notre Dame than at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hilarious.
I mean, the crazy part is, like, I'm been super high on Marshall, but they're doing this all without probably one of the best playmakers in the group of 5.
It's impressive.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Well, he needs to make his ass back on the field. He needs to get his ass back on the field.
He does, but I mean, their backup, who's another Florida State transfer, he's been dropping. I think he had like 140 yards. He diced up the Notre Dame defense. He did well last game, which last game was against Norfolk State, so it is what it is. But I mean, they got talent across the board on that team.
Unbelievable. I mean, I know you didn't have ML in your pocket, but if you did, you'd literally be mega mind.
Yeah.
Great call, though. I mean, no one else really had Marshall. Good fucking call. For the record, chat, I texted Jovan, should we take Marshall? And he said we should wait to get 21. And then I didn't hear from him again. So I'm poor, he's rich. But great call. Absolutely great call. Let's move to NFL. Who were you most impressed with? Who were you most disappointed with?
Most impressed with the Chiefs. I mean,
agreed.
Been talking about it, like Mahomes. Everybody just thought that the whole Mahomes Chiefs offense was just going to drop off the face of the earth with Tyreek Hill gone. Granted, like, this is a Cardinals team, and especially the Cardinals defense, that I am very, very low on, with their average age of 76 on that defense. But I honestly think that Tyreek Hill, I don't want to like undermine the effect that he had on this offense, but he might have forced Mahomes to become a better quarterback, because we're talking about, I think this is the best pocket presence that I've seen Mahomes have since he's been in the league. Because they have so much, a much more diverse wide receiving core now than opposed with Tyreek. I just think he looks much better. And it forces him to do a lot of different things. It forces the offense as a whole to give you a bunch of different looks. I think, honestly, that Tyreek Hill is a matchup nightmare, but as an offense, this makes the Chiefs a little harder to game plan for, I think. They're a lot less one-dimensional, and you talk about that offense. Juju looked fine. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they really forced on giving him kind of an outline role. He looked great.
People who took a shot on CEH in fantasy are feeling pretty good right now, I would say.
Absolutely. And are the Chiefs going to go out and drop 44 on everybody? No, especially with this Cardinals defense, who is not very good. They look fine. I have faith in Mahomes. I think this could be another fantastic season for them.
I couldn't agree more. I need to see it against a good team. I could not be lower on the Cardinals this season. Been talking about it for weeks. This team is like they're more comparable to a damn Kardashians episode than they are an actual NFL team. And it's not going to get better when Hard Knocks comes to town mid-season. That's like the last thing that team needs, is to have cameras around and more drama when they have the most weird dynamic between QB and coach ever. I think their coach cares more about being in the front of the media than he does actually winning. And Kyler's more worried about Call of Duty coming out, and that defense stinks. That Cardinals team is just not special. I mean, hearing the narrative of them being so good earlier in the season made the Chiefs maybe the freest bet of the week.
Yeah.
You couldn't have said it any better, Jovan. So much Bills talk about how they're going to win the Super Bowl, and they might do the damn thing. They look fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, this Chiefs team hears all that, kind of like the Dodgers heard all the Padres talk when they made all those moves. The Chiefs hear that too. Mahomes hears that too, and he still wants to prove to the rest of the world that he's a better quarterback than Josh Allen, and he's going to prove that this season. And he's one step already on the way, putting up a 42-piece. Hold the fry.
Yeah.
Against
And I mean,
the Cards.
they're like, it's night and day from last year because, yes, I think Mahomes, it's kind of a new element to how he operates as a quarterback. But a lot of the problem is they just refuse to run the football, which, again, like it's one game. Don't want to overreact, especially against a bad defense. But they committed to finding that role for Clyde and running the football. I think that's a big, big difference for this offense. So I am excited to see it.
Yep. Disappointed? Who you disappointed with the most?
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about the Cowboys. I won't go over that, but I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. They're just bad. I'm pretty disappointed in the Bengals. Again, this is week 1, so we're not trying to overreact here. Joe Burrow didn't look good, but more importantly, that retooled offensive line got Burrow sacked 7 times. And that's a big point of emphasis or whatever you want to see that the Bengals improved throughout the offseason. They supposedly improved there, and it's not looking great. And sure, TJ Watt, fantastic player, and a lot of the effect that it had on both of the lines was because of him. But at the end of the day, if Burrow's there getting sacked 7 times, he's getting pressured all in his face, hence why they had 5 turnovers. They had literally every chance to win that game. It was handed to them. They were playing a great defense, couldn't do it. Burrow didn't look great, didn't look good in his progressions, nothing. I just wasn't impressed by the Bengals whatsoever. Again, against a team who gave them every chance in the world to win that game with having 5 turnovers and 7 sacks. That should be like a 40-point game. And they still couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I mean, I was the leader of the anti-Joe Burrow hype train all off season. People thought I had 10 heads when I was talking about it, saying how the Steelers and the Ravens have coaches who are maybe the only guys who could think of a way to slow down Joe Burrow. I said that, and people acted like I was speaking in hieroglyphs. Mike Tomlin, what else has to be said? Put some fucking respect on his name. Because their defense looked incredible again. Now, was Mike Tomlin out there playing with the helmet on pads? Fuck no. But put some respect on his name. He wins games. There's a reason he's never had a losing season. When everyone's doubted him again this year, off to a great start with a huge upset outright. Very, very bad look for the Bengals. They should be concerned. And a great reminder for everyone else that Mike Tomlin is him.
Yeah. Yes. And always in chat saying if they're so good, why are the Pats favorite next week? Because I think TJ Watt has a massive, massive impact on that defense. They look great for that reason, and he will be out for God knows how long with that torn pec now.
Couple months, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll be seeing how their defense looks without him as part of the equation. I think it's definitely going to take a big hit, but we'll see. We'll see how Mike Tomlin does it.
Okay. So you're high on the Chiefs, you're low on the Bengals. 2 good takes. I am extremely impressed with our friend on the Saints, who I'm going to shout him out because I was making fun of our friend Peter for drafting him in our Just Baseball League. He's got to be feeling pretty good right now, to be honest with you. This motherfucker's back. Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas. He is back. Now let's wait and see when he gets hurt again because it's coming. But
yeah,
the motherfucker absolutely tweaked. 5 catches, 57 yards, 2 tutties. Back like he never left. 2-year beat, 2-year hiatus, comes back and look like he hasn't skipped a beat. Plain and simple. The dude's an absolute dog. You can see here in the video. He's built different. Maybe he does want to be out there and play. Maybe he's not like Kamara who just gives up mid-game. Maybe he does want to be out here and play. So I'm impressed with Michael Thomas coming back when everyone doubted him, putting up 2 tutties. I salute you, sir. Most disappointing, I'm going to go with the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers has been on every single talk show, stream, whatever, this offseason. He's literally everywhere. I don't think he's fully locked in right now. I think people are more interested in his story and his trip and his, crazy mental change and shift and how he's accredited doing all this weird stuff to success on the field. Whatever works, works. You're a weird dude, but whatever works, works. Respect Aaron Rodgers. You're a Hall of Famer. But you guys could only put up 7 points against the Vikings defense, which is impressive. It's impressive to put up that little points against that defense.
Yeah.
Receivers were dropping balls. Everything that was being talked about as a concern before the season came true. They're in trouble. Christian Watson, I mean, he had one big drop, but that drop means more than just that one catch. That drop sums up all the it did change the game, and it sums up all the concerns in one play. And you could tell with Rodgers saying that shit just can't happen. Well, what's going to change? Your roster's poop. Your defense is good, but they got absolutely exposed by Justin Jefferson and this new air raid offense from the Vikings that looked damn near unstoppable, especially in the first half. The Vikings were not fake sharp, confirmed. The Vikings and Kevin O'Connell, who's going to win Coach of the Year, are going to cause serious issues for any defense. I mean, they scored with ease against the best defense in the NFL. I'm concerned for the Packers. They look like dog shit. You're not that concerned?
No, not that concerned. I think, this is the same thing we see with Rodgers and his wide receiving core, like from time to time. I mean, realistically, like Devontae Adams obviously is a massive deal, but he's been dealing with kind of subpar wide receiving groups for, a couple of years, as long as he's been in the league, and he's made guys look good. I think towards the end of that game, we started to see something important. He was starting to find his guys that he liked. He was starting to find Romeo Doubs. He's starting to find Tunyon a little more, which Tunyon was limited because of his first game back. And to wrap it all up, like Alan Lazard didn't play in the game. So I think they're going to start to put it together. Is it going to be a challenge? Absolutely. But I mean, like starting next week, I think they come out and they roll the Bears next week. I think we're going to see it all come together. So I'm not pushing the panic button on them yet. So still Aaron Rodgers, and he has, unlike, last year, their defense was good, but a couple of years before that, like he hasn't had a good defense to back him up. So I'm not pushing the panic button yet, and I think they'll be just fine.
That's fair. Our guy C-Lord in chat.
And yeah, they
did the same thing last year.
Every year.
The same thing last year. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I did say it's going to take a couple weeks for them to figure out, and for Aaron Rodgers to figure out who's a real one or not on this, on this offense.
And I mean,
and the Vikings D line did look decent. I agree.
Yeah, and that's to be expected. I mean, other than they play the Bucks, but I mean, other than that, like the next couple weeks here, it's perfect time to figure it out. They got the Bears at home, then they play the Bucks, but then they got Patriots, Giants, and Jets all in Lambeau. So they will have plenty of time to flesh out that receiving core. So I think they'll be just fine.
It's a really good buy low, sell high spot for the Packers against the Bears next week.
Yeah, I was expecting that line to kind of drop too, but it's moving the Packers' way still. It's up to, I think it was sitting 9.5, and now it's up to 10 in a lot of places, which I wasn't.
It's Sunday Night Football too. Holy shit!
Yeah,
they are minus 9.5. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was expecting that to move down a little more towards the touchdown mark after those games, but it's not.
Are you kidding me, dude? That's a lot of points, and I think that's a lot of points for a reason. I think they might roll. Holy fuck. After the Bears won outright. Does that game even count, though, Jovan? I mean, these guys could barely even cut.
I think it
barely cut.
I think it does because, another team that I was disappointed in is in the Niners. And part of that, like why I think it counts, quote unquote, for the Bears, it's because you think about a game like that, who has the advantage? The 49ers with a team whose identity is in the trenches, which that's going to be their game plan going in anyway to try to kind of protect Trey Lance or let him kind of ease into the offense. They couldn't do shit. So, respectfully,
they couldn't do shit.
It started pouring towards the end of the game. So whatever happened at the end of that game, sure, you can take that with an asterisk, but he didn't look good in the beginning of that game either. That's to be expected. I am not very high on Trey Lance, which I think he'll get it together. I'm not going to take that one game and say it's him as a player, but I am not very high on that offense and that team, and I think the Bears did a good job. I'm a little higher on the Bears than I think most are too. I think they'll start to put it together with their weapons and with Fields, but I don't think next week is the day either.
Okay.
The week. I think they get smacked.
Okay. That's fair. Thrasher in chat, our Orioles sharp, was talking about Lamar for a second, saying, hey, Lamar only carried the ball 6 times. Now, he didn't need to, but kind of the game plan and script that we were expecting here, Jovan, with him putting on 20 pounds in the offseason, him not signing his deal. I think he's going to try to be passing the majority of the time until he absolutely has to run. And he's not going to be, as aggressive on the ground, which may hurt him in fantasy. But I think his passing yards this season will soar over. We know that was in my future. Yep. And I think it was a good sign for that. Seeing last night, the game plan was, or yesterday, the game plan was for him to be a pass first guy. Now, when they're playing against a good team and they're down and they need to score, they're going to have to go to their most successful offense, which is, using Lamar on the ground, obviously. But when you're playing a team like the Jets, why not pass the ball a bunch, see how it goes?
I will say, though, I don't think people give the Jets defense enough credit either. Their front seven's really good.
They were hanging around.
They played really well, and they're physical, and a big reason why the Ravens couldn't run the ball was because of them. So, I mean, they're certainly not the best team, but they hung in there. So I'm down with that.
Good point here. Bateman got bailed out, 50-yard bomb. Agreed. As a Bateman owner in fantasy, I'm a little concerned as well. But again, they were stomping on the Jets, so who knows? Flacco, 59 pass attempts. Holy smokes. Flacco confirmed not back. Flacco confirmed not a revenge game. Flacco confirmed washed. I feel pretty good with that future in my pocket. Under 5.5 wins, a plus 155. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Anywho, we've got a game tonight that I really want to dive into. Is there any MLB that we'd like to talk about first, though? Because, guys, I hate to say it, but there's still MLB going on, and there's plenty of games and winners. An opportunity.
Yeah. I don't know about today.
Okay.
It's such an ugly slate. I mean, the chat can let us know if there's any games that they're interested in or whatever. But it's a very ugly slate. When the first game I'm looking at is Rays Blue Jays with Colin Criswell on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, that's the game I want to talk about. I think that's the trap line of the day. And that line is moving towards Tampa, which is weird as shit. I think I'm going to have to be on the Rays tonight. Our guy, RR Kyle, we're going to talk about Monday Night Football for the last, good chunk of the show before 2 p.m. Eastern time. But we're going to have to dive into baseball here for a sec. There's too many games. We got to dive through and talk it through and get some winning bet slips in because that's how we do it. We got to collab. Give me the Rays, ML, plus 130. They win this game. Criswell literally picked up off the streets, made one career start, terrible start. But like you said earlier, apparently he's been pitching pretty well in the minors. And I was talking with him a little bit with Nick earlier. This kid apparently is kind of a matchup nightmare for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit harder to hit as a right-handed batter. And we know the Blue Jays are very right-handed hitting, heavy. So that could be a huge plus for him today. I know you said he's only probably going to go 3 innings-ish, you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's been doing in the minors, and I think they've been kind of preparing him for this role. So I'm not really sure what their plan is because that would be the assumed plan, but we have a couple pitchers coming because of the vaccination situation, and they're kind of extended guys as well. Like, what would really scare me, I don't think we're going to see Josh Fleming today, thank the Lord. But, I mean, guys like Herget, guys like Javi Guerra, maybe Yacobonis too. I don't know what the plan is with them. So I would assume you'd go 3 or 4, and then they let the bullpen flesh it out after. But if they're planning any sort of piggyback situation, it might scare me a little bit.
Yeah. Did you say Javi Guerra is a pitcher in your guys' bullpen?
Yep.
Dude.
He's been lights out too.
When did he leave the Nats?
Couldn't tell you. I know he's just joined us this year. I don't know when he left the Nats.
Are you sure he's on the roster?
Yeah. Well, he's been in AAA for a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. He's on the 40 man, so he's
Yeah.
about to get called up. Okay.
Yeah.
That's absolutely hilarious, dude. He was kind of good for us for a little bit.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, and we've brought him up a couple times. I don't know why he hasn't stayed up, but
Okay. But yeah, I think that line is weird with the Rays at plus 130, not moving really at all. Honestly, I'm seeing a little bit of movement on DraftKings towards the Rays, and all the money's coming in on Toronto, obviously, with how well Barrios pitched at home and how the Blue Jays like playing at home. Yeah, give me the Rays. They're winning outright. This line is fucking weird. It reeks.
yeah. I mean, I will look to. I don't know if today will be the day. I'm really hoping this line gets to 9, but I will be taking some overs in the series. The Rays have, like, off the rip, obviously the vaccination situation. They got a pitcher or two out, including Brooks Raley. But this is a 5-game series. If you know anything about the Rays, if they are the slightest bit non-competitive, they're going to let the guy ride. They're going to bring a position player in at the very earliest time. So we're going to see some runs in this series. It just might start today. I think there's a very, very slim chance, but it does worry me. Like I was saying, the Blue Jays just can't hit at home. And against Criswell, who is a pretty bad matchup for them, I could very well see them coming out here and laying a goose egg for these first couple innings.
Okay. Do we think John Gray and the Rangers sitting at minus 120 is a little weird against Garrett today and this inept Miami offense? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't think it's weird. I think it's another weird, quote unquote, weird line from a doubleheader because they're playing game 1 right now.
That's why it's a little shorter. Doubleheader action.
And I'm pretty sure this is both of these guys' first start back, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Keep me far away from this game.
Yeah, like I don't want a thing to do with this game. They're both coming off the IL.
Well, yes, I mean that's the right way to play it.
Yeah.
If Miami loses game 1 and they're sitting at plus chicken at home in game 2, maybe it's just a blind system bet to not get swept in the doubleheader. But I mean, we shouldn't be betting on guys making their return from the IL. We have no clue what we're going to get out of these arms.
Zero.
Especially John Gray, who pitched lights out of nowhere for them this season.
Yeah.
Chad, any other baseball games you want us to talk about today? Strider versus Cobb tonight. I mean, not that many games. I think the Angels, they're a decent look today against Pilkington. Yeah, they're kind of getting hot a little bit. I don't hate that look. Angels ML against the Pilk man. What do you have any thoughts on that game?
Man, like on baseball brand side of things, I would definitely like the Angels in that matchup. I just don't know if I can do it with how much I've seen them today. It's a very public underdog. The one that I was kind of eyeing a little bit, I'm really hoping it starts moving to 7.5. We can get 7.5 on this Astros Tigers game. I want to go over.
You wanted the over, okay?
I do want to go over. I think they're gonna put up a little respectable fight. The Tigers are against Framber. Scratch a couple runs across, but I really just think this is another blow up spot for Erod.
Do we get Framber's first non-quality start in what seems like a decade today?
I'm not really sure. I think he'll hang around kind of quality start statistics or whatever.
Okay.
I just think he has to be not perfect for this over to hit. Like I think he'll get touched up for a run or two, and I think whether it's the Astros bullpen or just Erod by himself, I think they get runs.
Okay. Yeah, you better pray that goes up. That's a key number from 7 to 7.5.
I hate betting over 7s. There are very few times where I'll do it, but if it goes up to 7.5, it's an important jump.
Okay. People obviously wanted to talk about the Dodgers real quick. This Nelson kid coming off of just an absolutely impeccable, first career start. Probably not going to live up to that again. I think the total here being at 9 with a guy like Anderson on the bump who's been damn near unhittable. I don't know if people know, but he's actually top 5 in the NL in ERA for the season. The dude's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. And we're getting a total here at 9. Two things are going to happen here. Either Anderson's going to get lit up and the D-backs are going to show some heart, or the Dodgers are going to absolutely stomp on Nelson and they're going to win this game by 10. Either way, give me the over in that game. Especially if it goes back to 9. It's at 8.5 or 9 on a lot of books, but I'm in the same boat here with you with that over in the Tigers game.
Yep.
I want to see this go back to 9, and I want to see that movement trending upwards. Do you think that total's weird? Set at 9 with Anderson on the bump.
I don't know if it's weird. Maybe a little telling.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, the numbers aren't going to tell you like the guy's been horrible, but he's definitely looked more human in his last handful of starts than he has a majority of the season, I would say. I mean, he's given up a lot harder contact. Looking at like I was watching something on MLB Network the other day too, like his spin rates and everything, his velocity's down, which he's not a huge velocity guy to begin with, but everything's down.
Okay.
So we're seeing some regression in terms of the advanced metrics. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Like the D-backs have also been hitting streakily well when they choose to. So I wouldn't put it past this lineup to put up some runs today. And Ryan Nelson, I love the guy. I think he's a fantastic prospect, and obviously love what I saw from his first start. But it's the Dodgers at the end of the day. They're a matchup nightmare for everybody. So not just saying they're going to put up runs because the Dodgers, but I don't expect Ryan Nelson to go out there and throw 7 shutout innings or anything. I think he gets some runs today too.
Yeah, I think I want the over in that game.
Yeah, I think the over is not a bad play.
Okay. Cubs Mets. Assad versus Bassett. Bassett's just been really good for this team this season. I'll eat my words. He's been proving me wrong. I don't want anything to do with this game. I'm not laying Mets -1.5 with the total here at 8. No fucking chance. Not with that total going from 8.5 to 8. I want nothing to do with this game. Do you like anything in this?
No, I mean, I love Javier Assad. I think he's really good, super underrated, but I can't back him against this Mets lineup, and more importantly, can't back the Cubs lineup against the Mets and against Bassett, who's been absolutely like he's looking like his teammate. He's looking like Jacob deGrom at home. So we'll pass on taking a shot on the Cubs.
I'm with you, brother. Trying to pull up where our guys' strikeouts are at today. Bassett. He is at.
He's 6.
Okay, because I'm seeing a lot of Bassett strikeout boosts today.
Really?
And I know. Let me pull up his stats real quick. Coming off a 10 strikeout game, and he's playing. Who are they playing? They're playing the Cubbies. Do you like anything in this? Do you like his strikeout over or under at all? Do you have a lean?
I don't know if I have a lean. I would say coming off of that great performance and the boost or whatever would definitely make me lean towards the under. But the Cubs, I probably have to see the Cubs lineup first. It's another team where their lineup is pretty important to how they look in the game. So I don't know. It is a little weird that it's maybe sitting at 6.
Yeah, I like his under.
You missed a good conspiracy yesterday in the spaces we were talking about. We had the Rays game sitting at 8.5 total yesterday, and they had Stanton up for everything yesterday. After it was funny, they had him up for like hits and walks and a run or whatever, and he only hit his hits and walks in like one of the last 10 games, and one of them was because he hit a home run off a position player on Saturday. So I mean, shout out to Stanton. Of course, he goes yard in the second inning.
The Yanks, man. How are the Yanks looking right now? Where are they at in the division?
I mean, they pounded us the last 2 games.
I know.
Absolutely pounded. Kluber and Patino looked like they were just putting the ball on a tee for that entire second inning of their starts.
Yeah.
Kluber didn't even make it out of the first inning.
Oh, gross. Yeah, not a lot of baseball coverage from me, although I was watching the Nats. They continue to put up runs. Pat Corbin, kind of back, not as back. Had a meh start. Billy the Kid saying Marlins -135 is very telling right now. Is he talking about the live line? Doubleheader lines are weird, my man. I try not to get too up in them.
Yeah,
Plain and simple.
especially today, because I'm sure with both of those guys coming back from injury in the second game, there's a lot of uncertainty or projection about bullpen usage or whatever. So it's just maybe it's a little telling. Sure, I just don't care to get involved in it personally.
I like that Bassett under strikeouts today. I think I can't get over it.
Really?
The Cubs have been aggressive at the plate. I think I might give that a look for a prop tonight after the overreaction of him throwing fucking 10 in his last start. The Cubbies at bats have been okay.
It is heavily juiced to the under 6.5 on books. I'm saying so
for his prop.
Yeah, so
okay.
It is about where it's supposed to be. In terms
okay.
Of bats.
Okay.
But I don't disagree. I just think I'd just wait for the lineup. They also, yeah, they did play Sunday Night Baseball yesterday.
Oh, Ollie. Why has Ollie got to come in here and ruin it? All right. So, yeah, let's see what the lineups come out as. And honestly, maybe that's a stay away game if they're coming off of Sunday Night Baseball. Didn't even know he was playing in Sunday Night Baseball last night because the MLB doesn't do any advertisements.
So no. I mean, it sucked anyway. I mean, I was talking about it with my roommate. Why the hell are the Cubs Giants Sunday Night Baseball? who decided that?
That's what they have to compete with NFL Week 1 Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. And that's what they got. One of the greatest games of the year on like the afternoon slate with the Mariners Braves. I have no clue why that wasn't nationally televised.
Unbelievable.
I think they're just conceding, I guess, to the NFL and saying nobody's going to watch it. So put the worst game.
Yeah, they're just packing it up.
Yeah. Don't even try.
All right. Let's see. I wanted to show this real quick because I thought it was hilarious. Our guy, Not My Major Matt, will love this. Literally points bet already paid out. The under on the Cowboys this year. Ridiculous. The Cowboys are still not them boys. So we will be settling all Cowboys win total unders as wins today. Matt, if you're watching this, you probably wish you bet that on PointsBet and not on FanDuel. That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. If they end up covering that over and that's the only book that gave it out, that's something.
Yeah.
That would suck. But that's another reason, I guess, to use PointsBets for futures if they're being weirdos and giving you free money. I thought that was hilarious, making fun of our guy, Jerry. Let's talk about Monday Night Football. I'd love to get some prop talk going. And before we dive in, though, I mean, I'm going to be taking Seattle tonight. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold my nose, close my eyes, and bet them. Am I getting some fake sharp vibes after a lot of underdogs covered this weekend? Yeah, for sure. I know the Capwise guys have them winning here by 10, Denver. So not really shocking. To be honest with you, Jovan, this spread opening up at 4, I thought was really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Really fucking weird. Now it's sitting at 6.5. It touched 7.5 at times. Now it's starting to go back. I'm going to wait and see if it gets to 7 because I don't think it's going to go to 6. We'll have to see if it does. If it goes to 6, whatever, I'll eat my words. I'm still going to bet it. I have to play Seattle here where I think the spread should be around 10. I think with it opening at 4, and even if it's at 6, not really that concerned with that movement. I think that movement's there because everyone on earth has hammered the Broncos. I want Seattle at home. It's going to be loud as shit. It's Monday Night Football. It's Russ's first game in a new uniform. It's Russ's first game in a new uniform against his old team, at his old team, with probably a sold-out crowd. That place is going to be loud as shit. They're not going to boo Russ, but they're sure as hell going to be cheering against him with Seattle. So give me Geno Smith, who looked okay at the end of last season. Hopefully he just hands the ball off to Rashad Penny a ton, and this clock runs. I'm shocked to see the total go from 41.5 to 43.5. I don't really know what to think about that, but I do know one thing. I'm betting Seattle tonight. Are you looking at anything here? Are you getting fake sharp vibes? What do you think, bro?
I don't know if it's fake sharp vibes. This is just like a game where, like, personnel-wise, there's so much going on. So I'm probably going to wait to see if the line moves at all. But, I mean,
okay,
I don't know why they're still sitting at 6.5 with all that they have going on in their defensive backfield, especially. Like, they're rookies pretty much everywhere you turn. Injuries, whatever you want to call it. against the passing attack for the Broncos that is expected to be much improved with Russell Wilson, as it should be. Yeah, they just don't have anybody in that defensive backfield. So why is the line so short? I don't know. On the other side, though, I mean, Denver's defense, while it is definitely much better than Seattle's and very stout, they'll be missing the quarterback in their defense, most likely. I don't think Josie Jewell is going to end up playing. So that'll be a pretty big element of it, especially if you're talking the total moving up 2 points or 2.5 points or whatever. Just both of these defenses are a little banged up. Personnel-wise, I think they both have a lot of stuff to get figured out. So, I mean, I might be on that over, if anything. I don't know if I can trust the Seahawks yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're the worst team on paper in the NFL. I think we can agree on that. You agree with me that total opening up at 4 is whack, right?
The line opening up at 4.5?
Yeah, the line opening up at 4 or 4.5 is insane. But this is just have to take the points with the home team against their old QB. Like the narrative I just have to back. I have to back.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
All the pressure's on Russ. Ollie, good point. Primetime unders are going to be smacking all year. Maybe not in this one though. If that total's moving up 2 points, and if there's some cornerbacks out, like you were saying, that's concerning. But Seattle could also lose this game by 30. Who knows? I mean, their team is terrible. Denver's supposed to be great, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that they have cornerbacks out or anything. They're super young. I think they have one cornerback out. I think it's Sidney Jones. It's not expected to play or something like that. But they're super young, pretty much anywhere you turn on defense. So that's like my main issue in backing the Seahawks.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not against it. I sure as hell I'm not taking the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. So this pass rush and receiving touchdowns category on Prize Picks that I've been getting absolutely burned on, it only has one entry up for tonight. I mean, there's only one game or one square up. Javonte Williams is who it has up. Do I finally hit one? Do I finally hit an under taking this? Or do I just stay away and maybe try to work on something else? Because I've tried to be cute and fade the best players who pop up in this category, thinking it would be smart. I did it with Cooper Kupp. That didn't hit. I did it with fucking Deebo Samuels last night. That didn't hit. I think maybe these are freebies. I don't fucking know, but my body won't let me believe that. I don't understand why they put having Kamara, McCaffrey, and Deebo up there yesterday was ridiculous. And yeah, 2 out of 3 went over. I don't think Kamara scored, correct?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so 2 out of 3 went over. And then having Kupp on Thursday Night Football up, maybe this is just them figuring it out because it's the first year they've been putting this prop up. But it just can't be that free.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can look at it as maybe they're trying to balance. Everybody's getting kind of the sharps or the squares are getting hammered on the games. Maybe you got to give them some prop love. But too, at the end of the day, a square is a square. You got to pair it with something. So I mean, they're gonna put up squares to get you hooked regardless.
Right.
This is probably one I'm not gonna advise to fade today. I'll say that.
That's fair.
I mean, I think.
Who's getting the goal line carries for Denver? Is it going to be Melvin Gordon or is it going to be Williams?
That's the thing. You don't know.
No clue.
Which is the scary part. And I mean, I think just based on how they brought Melvin Gordon back, I don't think he's going to be as big a part of the offense as he was last year. But at the same time, he's just so very liable to get the goal line touches too. And Javonte Williams, I think if I'm targeting a prop, I want him on the receiving end, and he's very liable to go out and have a 20-yard receiving touchdown or something too. So I wouldn't fade it. Is it very suspicious that it's the only one up? Absolutely, but I don't know. You can probably fade in other ways.
I mean, yeah, there's no one else to really even put up for tonight. Who else are they?
That's the thing too. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna put up a wide receiver. You can't really for this category unless it's a true number one guy. And they don't really have any other in both games. And the one true one guy you could maybe say is DK, but he's got Geno Smith thrown to him.
Yeah, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat had a good point though. saying our guy Trent Cien refuses to believe as a smart coach Carroll would come back, to coach a terrible team. To be honest with you, a lot of these guys struggle hanging up the cleats, whether that's coaching or players too. So it's tough to quit. These guys want to stay around the game forever. So
yeah, I think he knows what he's doing though. I think they're going to be. That's another team. I think it's going to be just a tad bit better than everyone's giving them credit for. Yeah, like on paper they're not a great team, but they'll figure it out a bit.
Joey Meneses, the GOAT, literally better than Soto. We should pay him. Maybe we roll with the capitalized boys and go with the Noah Fant narrative if it's a revenge game, and we take him to them. Yeah, you like him as well?
I wasn't talking about me. What was the sell job on that one?
I know all I know is that it's their last prop they gave out on Charge to the Game on Friday of last week. So okay. I just know they're on his over receiving yards.
If they gave it out on Friday, maybe that makes a little more sense. Because I don't think I've ever seen Noah Fant name more than today.
Okay, noted. I will be staying away from that prop.
I don't know. I mean, if they gave it out, that's one thing because it's the point to it for a lot of people, us included.
Are you gonna have self-control and not force a bet tonight on this game? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Because
that's bullshit. If it is.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I get a line move either way, I might follow it. If that over keeps creeping up, I'll probably be on that.
Whoa.
But yeah, well, I'll be making a game time decision just like I do for a lot of NFL bets.
Okay. That's fair. I don't hate that over either, although I really don't like taking overs in primetime games ever in football. But
yeah.
LMNG223, we talked about baseball, my man. We talked about baseball. If you want us to talk about a specific game, let us know. We'll go back into it. But we're trying to talk football more. That's what everyone's worried about, where they're putting their coins on, is NFL tonight.
Yeah.
ESPN is slurping Russ on these Monday Night Football commercials. I mean, yeah, not really. What are they going to slurp Geno Smith? No. Who are they going to? They're going to slurp DK, I guess. But like you said, Geno Smith's throwing to him. Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck. I'm on Seattle tonight. I'm going to be on them. I'm in no rush to bet it. Although I'm watching this line creep towards 6.5 and 6. So I'm definitely getting a little worried. But I'm going to wait and be patient and hope that everyone's hammering in Denver throughout the night so that I can potentially get a good number on Seattle here at 7. I want that hook if I can get it.
I mean,
who's scoring first is a good question.
That is a great question. There's a tweet that I saw that was saying this is the only time that, or potentially the only time that a Monday night favorite is going to have more than 75% of the bets in like 7 years or 6 years.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that earlier. So it's looking like this is going to be one of the biggest bet discrepancy percentages, less than 25% of bets coming in for the first time since, what was the game? Do you remember the matchup?
Not off the top of my head. I think it was Bears, somebody.
I think I have it right here. Hold on.
2016 Bears versus Vikings.
Yeah, and you know who won that game?
I'm sure the dog did.
The Bears won outright by 10.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a big trend guy, or I really don't care that much, but I mean, I'm going back to the well there, 100%. It gives me, you bet every plus 300 bet out there, and you're going to make money long term. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Yeah. Josh Smith is him. Love it.
Very much so.
Love it. 79% of handle, 89% of bets are on Denver. Shocker. Yep. Yeah. Absolute shocker. I have to take Seattle. Without a doubt. Are you in any survivor pools, by the way?
Yeah.
Did you do the bucket one?
I didn't do that. I went to go join that one and it was full.
Ooh.
So,
I'm telling.
Didn't really know what I could do there.
I'm telling Corp.
Yeah.
Did you survive in advance?
I did. I was on the Ravens.
Okay. Well, that was
the safest one. Squarest one, but safest one.
That was free. I was on the Commanders in both of mine. What a crazy play. I was the only person that took them. Let's go. Now I'm in a great spot.
Yeah.
I've actually won a survivor pool before. So, guys, I'll be letting you know what I'm on every week if you're trying to tail. And I'm kind of mad at myself for not doing the circle one, $1 million one. A tie should eliminate you. Ollie, does a tie not eliminate you? Apparently it doesn't. Very curious. Were there any other props in this game tonight, Monday Night Football, that stuck out, Jovan, or no?
I mean, not particularly. I just don't know what to expect. I don't like betting on an offense in general that's going through like a quarterback with their first time in the system, which Russ, veteran, he can definitely handle it. But I mean, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks come into their first game and definitely struggle a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially right out of the gate, first half or whatever, if they come and struggle a bit. But I mean, the one that I was like I love Javonte Williams. But if I'm going to bet him today or bet a prop today, it's probably him on the receiving end. If we can get a, I mean,
I need to take a leak real quick. I'm literally going to pee my pants. So
yeah, go ahead. Let's see. Oregon favored by 3.5 at home against BYU. I'm pretty high on Oregon kind of bouncing back. Like I expected them. I'm not going to say I expected them to get beat as bad as they did by Georgia. I thought they'd keep it a little closer, but I was expecting them to get ran in that game, and I still think they're going to be a top player in that conference. Like I'm not sold on USC yet. I think that defense is still a little bit of a problem. Offense is great. Don't get me wrong. When they face a little better team, we'll see. That's when I'll make the judgment on them. Oregon, I still think they're going to bounce back with a couple games here. So I wouldn't be shocked. Not too impressed with that BYU team either. I need to see how they play. Because they'll have their two big wide receivers coming back, hopefully, or you would think. So it's a tough game. It's a tough game. I did see they opened 5.5 too, so the 2-point move is interesting. I don't know if I want to go with that, but drop 70. I mean, yeah, the offensive firepower is always going to be there.
I like Oregon in that spot. I do.
Yeah.
We could talk about some lines coming up this weekend. Some really sketchy lines. Also, shout out Incarnate Word.
Yeah.
Or Ward, however you say it. I mean, that was maybe the weirdest bet I've ever placed. Yeah. I'm used to betting on that team in college basketball, not in college football. They came through.
Why you bet them in college basketball?
They're terrible.
Please stop. That's the one team that I will pretty much never bet on in the Southland.
Yeah, I had a rack. I had a rack on Incarnate Word.
So that's a sick play.
It was the weirdest line I saw for college football this season. Had to take it. Why was Incarnate Ward? Apparently it's pronounced Ward or some shit. W-A-R-D. I can't even say it still. So I'm just going to call them Word. I don't really give a shit. Them +3 against Nevada, who's a real football team. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is this a mistake?
Yeah.
It was not a mistake. It was just free. And that gave me college basketball vibes. Literally just fucking, the words. Let's go.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Speaking of some other lines, you know which one gives me college basketball vibes this week?
What?
Washington. -3.5 against Michigan State.
You love this team. I
do. I mean, I think like Penix and DeBoer for that offense is just so good. Like I love them. And I'm not fairly impressed by anything I've seen from Michigan State either. I mean, they're just not great at football team. They just have the name. I was a little surprised to see them. The line keep moving Washington's way. I think they opened up as a slight dog.
-3.5.
Yeah, now they're creeping up.
Holy smokes. -3.5 against ranked Michigan State. I'll be on them for sure. I mean, we might as well briefly I'm going to briefly scroll through these top 25 games and see if anything's sketchy. Oklahoma, -11.5 against Nebraska, I feel like is fair. I don't think that's that weird.
That's kind of weird, honestly. Well, because
you think it's kind of weird.
Well, it opened up super short, right? And then it
4.5.
It quickly, like yesterday at a point, I looked at it and it was 14.5. So I mean, it's trying to find some middle ground here, which I think is very strange.
I mean, the bet a team after they fire their coach rule.
Yeah,
Just do it. Don't even
just
think.
got to.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that method, King Dre. That method works for everything.
pretty much
Straight
any
up.
sport.
Straight up. JK's in the chat geeking me. I mean, I definitely lean Nebraska for sure. South
Yeah.
Carolina getting 24.5 against Georgia. That's whatever. That is what it is. Michigan's laying crazy points to UConn. Baylor's laying 30 to Texas State. I mean, whatever. I don't see a spread for Youngstown State, Kentucky, but it's going to be fat. Auburn's only getting 3 points at home against Penn State. I don't hate Auburn in that spot. +3 at home against Penn State. Any thoughts on that?
I really just don't want any part of that game, to be honest with you.
Fair. That's okay.
Two teams that just got no clue what to do with. This is one I was looking at though. This Northern Illinois -1.5 against Vandy. It's hilarious.
Oh,
it's so funny.
Northern Illinois. Oh, JK's insane. Auburn's fake sharp. I don't know about that.
A little biased.
Trent's on Seattle?
In no way.
Can someone confirm? Oh no, I gotta confirm myself. Trent. Oh.
Coming off of a primetime win too last night.
Vegas knows. He made a video about it, and he has a towel as woman's hair in the video. I'm sure he can. Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Video play. Oh my God. Wife, how am I supposed to get groceries? And he's wearing a DK jersey. Oh, fuck.
Oh boy.
Yeah, NIU is a good look. Back to business. NIU is a good look. Seahawks GGs. God damn it. I like Oregon a lot as a 3.5 point favorite against BYU. I do. Although that line opened up at 6.5, I'm seeing.
Yeah, that was what I was saying was scaring me a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to monitor that line. If it keeps moving towards BYU, might have to stay off. But like you said, not that impressed with BYU. They got pretty lucky. I mean, that game was a shit show. Let's not kid ourselves. Ole Miss is laying 16 to Georgia Tech. I don't think that's that weird. Bama's laying 50. We're not even going to talk about that. Fuck them. Wake Forest laying 16.5 to Liberty. Liberty's a sneaky good team. Wouldn't go anywhere near Wake Forest. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
NC State laying 10 to Texas Tech. I lean Texas Tech there. I digress. Ohio State laying fat to Toledo. Automatically fade Toledo. Akron's getting 50 points to Tennessee. This Akron team, man.
They're so bad.
They're so fucking bad, Jovan, and I keep betting on them because they're the worst team ATS in football in the last 5 years, and I keep thinking it's going to come back around.
Please stop.
Never does, but now they're going to – wouldn't be surprised if they end up closing at +50, which I might have to just take. I mean, I blindly took that with Hawaii. They scored 10 points, and that shit hit. That's all it's going to take from Akron here, but I watched Akron play last week. I was on them on Saturday. And against Michigan State, and they turn the ball over like it's their job. Fumbles left and right. Anytime they got tackled, they fumbled the ball. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
So I need to really reevaluate if I want to bet on that team again against Tennessee. That's a good spot there. Tennessee getting lucky there in OT. Washington -3.5 unranked against Michigan State. Yes, go ahead and lock that one in for me as well. That's my cards. I'm with you, bro. Pitt only laying 10.5 to Western Michigan. You think that's a little weird?
Yeah, maybe a touch. I don't know. I don't know what the respect level is as far as valuing Pitt. It's something I'll be looking at going forward, but not really too sure on that.
Okay.
Because I mean, you got
Florida's a fat favorite. Texas only laying 11 points. Well, they don't have a quarterback. To UTSA, Clemson fat favorites. Texas A&M laying 5.5 against Miami, who's ranked better than them. Give me Texas A&M coming off a loss. I'll take that. They look like shit. I don't know why they're minus 5.5 here. Probably because they're going to win.
Yeah.
Utah's laying fat to San Diego State. Not crazy. And then Fresno State, USC. That line's a little short. USC is only minus 12 now. They opened up at minus 16.5. Fresno State might be a live dog.
Yeah, I think it just has to do with USC's defense. I just still think it's not very good. The total's at 70.5. USC ain't doing that themselves.
That's fair. Yeah, Stanford was fake sharp. Confirmed this weekend. That's okay.
You can't win them all. They almost hit the little back door. It wasn't too far off.
You can't win them all. They almost did backdoor.
Yeah.
Maybe if that touchdown didn't get overturned in the start of the game with no evidence, the bet would have hit.
Yeah.
Actually, it would have. NFL, we'll go through these really quick. Chiefs minus 3.5. Wow. Against the Chargers. What a great game on Thursday night. I have no fucking clue what I'm going to do there. Jelly, no, I would not, respectfully. But I'm down to hit Ocean City, Maryland before you leave. That'd be electric. I don't know what's good with that Chiefs line, but I'd lean Chiefs.
You would?
I think so.
Surprised.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I thought you'd be all over the Chargers plus 3.5 with no Keenan Allen.
I don't know, man, because the Chargers looked pretty good too. They didn't really look that good.
They didn't impress.
No, fuck, you might be right. I'm gonna pass.
I'm not recommending it. I was just saying that's what I was expecting.
I need to think about that one more. Patriots, Pitt. Pats are only minus 1 on the road to Pitt. Give me Pitt. Lean Pitt right away. Are they going to start 2-0? Nobody on earth thought that. Holy shit.
That line would make me think Patriots.
Really?
Yeah, Steelers. The Patriots look terrible. They look horrendous. And they're favored.
I guess if we just look at last week, yeah. That's facts.
It's encompassing everything too. Like I know obviously like the Steelers defense is taking a big hit, but with the total sitting where it is too, they're still showing them some kind of respect. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess with the Steelers coming off a big upset and with the Patriots looking like shit, the Patriots still being a favorite is probably pretty telling. I agree. That game reeks though. That game reeks. Indianapolis and the Jags. Colts are only minus 4. That's probably all they deserve after their performance. The Commanders are plus 2 in Detroit. Good fucking luck, Commanders. That is not a good sight to see. We opened up at minus 1, which I already thought was a trap, and now we're plus 2. We're fucked. We're losing to the Lions. Lions, Tigers, Bears. We're losing to the damn Lions. That's not good. Shelly, Seahawks plus 7, but Trent's on it as well. So we're all in this together. That Commander spread is bad.
It's not great for you.
That's not a good sign for us.
But neither was yesterday's, to be fair.
Yeah. Although yesterday's was free because remember everyone was on the Jags as their trendy outright ML dog. So we knew the Commanders were free.
Yeah.
I had sneak units. I don't think our defense is legit yet. Lemoyne. I think that's how you say that. I don't think we're legit yet. We need Cam Curl back. We need Chase Young back ASAP. ASAP Rocky. Any other weird lines? I'm trying to skip through some of these. The Giants being a favorite is crazy, I think. Dotson is a stud for the Commanders. I have to address that in chat. Yeah, he's a fucking dog. He's a fucking dog. Giants minus 2.5. Maybe that's an overreaction from last week too. I don't know, but seeing that team as a favorite is definitely something. Even if the Panthers suck, I still think that's interesting. I really do.
Yeah.
How about your Saints Bucks? Any early thoughts on that? You guys are minus 3 on the road, which is not a good look in my opinion.
I'm kind of surprised they're.
in New Orleans.
Yeah, we can't beat the Saints. So I mean, I'm kind of shocked that we're -2.5 in the first place. Because I mean, we haven't beat the Saints. I think we beat them once in the regular season in the last like 4 years.
Let's
And
see.
you got obviously the front seven of the Saints is the biggest issue, and the line for the Bucks is their biggest issue, quote unquote.
Damn.
And Godwin's out several weeks now. We're seeing, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
hamstring, right?
yeah, or I didn't even see what it was, but I just saw the
Hamstring.
notification. But I don't know. I think this. I don't want to try and be biased here because I will never be taking the Bucks against the Saints in the regular season. But if that spread keeps creeping up, gotta wonder why.
Big Dilf just dropped the hammer in chat. Everyone on Earth is going to be on the Saints spread.
That's what
Oh
I'm
no.
saying. I think they're going to be one of the more popular ones, especially after how the Bucks looked last night.
Oh, damn, bro. You might be right. You might be onto something here, huh?
Yeah, I mean they own us. They're legit Tampa Bay Buccaneers owners.
So maybe the Bucks -3 on the road is telling here, is what you're saying.
If it gets there, I will. If it gets there, if it continues to move up by kickoff, I will have to play some sneak units on the Bucks.
Wow. Okay. Are you taking the Rams -10 against the Falcons?
I might take that over.
Okay.
I believe in this Falcons offense. I mean, I think they look really good. Like it's kind of a new element to their offense that I like. I like the Mariota aspect. He looked good. Cordero, I didn't really expect him to be as big a part of the running game as he was yesterday, but
Yeah. I was very low on him before the
yeah, I
season.
mean,
He looked just like Cordell from last year.
yeah, and I expect him to be a big part of this offense, just not completely in the running game because they're looking to kind of transform his role. And they played well against a good Saints defense. Kyle Pitts really wasn't even a factor in that game too, which I think he'll be coming up in these, down the stretch here in the next couple of games. So their defense is just an issue though, which the Rams being 10.5 or -10.5, they'll probably get right here offensively and have a decent game. So I think we see a lot of points in this one.
Okay. That's fair. Fruity saying they should have been -6.5. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Jovan had a great point saying how the Saints literally live beachfront in the Bucks' heads.
Yeah.
And I look back, you guys have very rarely beaten them.
I'm pretty sure the last time we beat them, Ryan Fitzpatrick was our quarterback in the regular season.
Hey, fun fact, that was at his last game ever when his hip exploded. How about that?
Was it actually?
Ryan Fitzpatrick's last NFL game, yeah, week 1 Commanders last season.
Oh, I said you were at it. Yeah.
I was there.
It's tough.
I was there. I mean, the rest of the games next week are fatty spreads. A lot of big spreads next week, which sucks. It is what it is. We saw dogs eat a lot this weekend. 4-1 outrights. I think they went, what was it, 8-7? Pretty sure. Something like that. Dogs went ATS or 7-8. Really hope Seattle's not fake sharp tonight. I'm on them. Give me the points. It is what it is. Yeah, that's one of those bets you just got to take it and maybe not even watch the game because it's going to be so gross. But it is. I'm gonna be more mad at myself if I don't bet it than if I do and lose. That's how you got to sit it and watch. Fruity, I agree with you on that. By the way, Steelers are going to be taking all the money. I'm with you. Guys, happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you tell my bets. Hope you tell Javon's bets. We're going to be coming with plenty throughout the week. Gross baseball card today. Gross game tonight. So you're not getting, locks on locks, but you've got Seattle for me, +6.5. No rush to bet it. I'm going to bet it right before kickoff, probably maybe get 7. We'll see how that plays out. I could be coming on here tomorrow looking like the smartest guy in the room or coming in here tomorrow looking like a moron when they lose by 30. It is what it is. I'm willing to take a chance. All right. Jovan, let me know if you end up locking anything in. As always, I appreciate you coming on and running this with me. Let's go Rays tonight. I think we both agree that might be worth a sprink.
Just might
be worth a look. A little sprink and bank. I appreciate it, Jovan. Let's go Seahawks. Let's go Rays tonight. All right. Try and take us home. Please don't mush my bet.